Welcome to another deep dive. We've got something pretty unique to explore today.
Yeah, this one's really interesting.
It's a project called The Liat Show.
Okay.
It's a Substack newsletter and podcast
Huh.
by this Israeli writer and storyteller named Liat Portal.
Interesting.
Now, she's based in San Francisco,
Okay.
but she doesn't just, tell stories.
Hmm.
She actually calls herself an architect of narratives.
Ooh, that's an interesting way to put it.
I know. I was kind of hooked right from the start.
Yeah.
Because she's blending like history and music and even like science and Israeli culture into these pieces that really make you think.
It's quite the mix.
It is. And we've got a few of her blog posts and some podcast episodes and even some listener reviews to kind of dig into.
From what I've seen, her audience seems to love that variety.
Right. They're always talking about how she like connects these seemingly totally random topics.
Yeah, in these unexpected ways.
Yeah, like she finds these hidden threads running through everything. For example, in one of her blog posts, "A joke's worth 1,000 words."
Mm-hmm.
She uses this like hilarious scene from Monty Python's Life of Brian
Oh, I love that movie.
to jump into a discussion about something actually like pretty profound.
Interesting. Which scene?
You know that one with the People's Front of Judea?
Oh, yeah.
They're like complaining about the Romans.
Right, they're listing all these grievances.
Yeah, and they totally miss like all the benefits of Roman rule.
The aqueducts, the sanitation.
Exactly. Classic Python.
But I wouldn't have thought to use that for a deeper point.
I know, right? But she does it brilliantly.
Clever.
It's such a like clever way to show how we often just overlook valuable contributions.
I see, yeah.
And then she connects this to how people often see the British and French empires
Okay.
in relation to the Middle East.
Ah, that's where it gets really interesting.
Right. Because she's not shying away from the complex history of the region at all.
Yeah, that's a sensitive topic.
For sure. But she like acknowledges the imperial ambitions of Britain and France.
Mm-hmm.
But she also points out all of their investments in development.
Things like?
Well, like education and infrastructure projects
Mm-hmm.
and even like boosting local economies.
Okay.
So it makes you think beyond just the basic narrative and consider all the nuances.
I like that.
Yeah, and she doesn't just like present this in a dry historical way.
Right.
She brings it to life with like personal anecdotes and these unexpected connections.
How so?
Well, for instance, she brings the story of how George Harrison saved the life of Brian film.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the original production company, they basically got cold feet.
Wow.
But George Harrison, he like believed in it so much that he stepped in and financed the whole thing.
Huh. So she uses that to illustrate the power of individual support.
Exactly. Like one person can make a huge difference.
It's a great story. I wonder if she has a personal connection to it.
She does. She actually talks about growing up with a father who was like a huge Beatles fan.
Oh, that's sweet.
And then she goes on to like directly ask her audience to be her George Harrison.
Oh, wow. That's bold.
I know, right?
What's she asking for specifically?
Basically to recognize the potential of the Liat Show
Yeah.
and support its growth.
I see. So it's not just about subscribing, it's about believing in something unique.
Exactly. And like becoming part of something bigger.
It's a refreshing change from just presenting a finished product.
I think so too.
She's inviting her audience to be active participants in her process.
It's pretty cool.
And from the looks of it, her audience is super engaged.
Oh, yeah. They leave thoughtful comments. They seem to really appreciate her, her willingness to be open and authentic.
Yeah, that genuine connection can be really powerful.
Definitely.
Yep.
And it's something she clearly cultivates, through her work.
It's not just about the information, it's about the community she's building.
For sure. And she doesn't just rely on words.
Oh. What else does she use?
Music plays a huge role in the Liat Show,
Ah, interesting.
particularly her love for this Israeli rock duo called Fortisakharov.
Okay.
She mentioned specific songs like Blue Dream, There Is No End to Childhood, and America.
I'm not familiar with them.
They're really cool, but it's like she's using music to transcend, language and cultural barriers.
Yeah, music has that power.
It does. It's like she's saying, hey, here's something that really moves me. I want to share that with you.
And maybe connect on a deeper level because of it.
Exactly. It definitely adds another layer to her work.
It shows how personal this project is to her.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
It's not just about conveying information, it's about sharing her passions, her experiences, her unique perspective.
And inviting us to join her on the journey.
Yeah. It's an invitation to, like, explore history and culture and ideas in this, like, completely new way.
Definitely an intriguing invitation.
I think so, too.
It's really amazing how she weaves her personal stuff into, like, these bigger stories.
Yeah, right.
It makes it, so relatable.
Totally. It's not just, like, intellectual. It's like she really feels it.
Yeah.
Like, in one episode, she talks about going to a 30 Seconds to Mars concert
Okay.
and how it, like, brought back all these memories from her childhood. So
Interesting.
it's like it wasn't just a concert,
Right.
It was this, like, portal back to her younger self,
I get that.
to those experiences that, like, shaped her love of music.
Yeah.
And then she goes even deeper
Okay.
and starts reflecting on how, like, certain lyrics might be interpreted differently because of her, her background.
Her Moroccan-Israeli heritage.
Exactly.
So it's adding another layer to this idea of, like, shared experiences, right? Like,
Right.
we can all connect with the same music, but our backgrounds, they shape those connections in different ways.
It's like how she describes herself as an architect.
Right.
She's not just presenting stuff. She's, like, carefully constructing it.
Yeah, layering it with meaning.
Yeah, and then inviting us to, like, explore the structure she's created.
And within that structure, we see all these cool, intersections of culture and history.
Totally. Like when she talks about her dad taking her to concerts as a kid.
Ah,
Like he basically planted the seeds for her, lifelong passion for music.
that's really cool.
It makes you think about, like, what experiences we're passing on to the next generation, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what passions are we igniting in them?
And that brings us back to that George Harrison idea, right? Recognizing the potential in someone and, supporting them.
It's not always about money, though, right?
No, not always.
Like, it can be about amplifying voices, sharing stories.
Being part of the ecosystem, so to speak.
Okay.
Every, share, comment,
Yeah.
it all helps.
Fuels the fire.
And Liat provides a way for people to get involved, right?
Oh, yeah. Her Substack newsletter.
For those who aren't familiar, could you,
Sure. So Substack is basically a platform where writers and creators can connect directly with their audience.
Okay.
It's a way to support their work, get exclusive content, and, like, be part of a community.
Makes sense.
And what's really cool is that she has both free and paid subscription.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's accessible to, like, everyone.
Yeah, you can try it out before committing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really fits with her whole, open and inclusive vibe.
She's not putting up walls.
No, she's opening doors, inviting people in.
I like that.
And one of the most engaging parts of that conversation, I think, is her exploration of Israeli culture.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, she brings this, like, real sense of pride and passion to it,
Yeah.
She sheds light on, like, both the familiar stuff and the lesser-known things.
And she doesn't shy away from the complexities either.
Not at all. She tackles history with, like, nuance,
Right.
recognizing both the good and the bad.
A prime example of that is her deep dive into Israeli music.
Oh, yeah, especially for Tizakara.
No, I'm not familiar with them.
So they're this, like, legendary rock duo,
Okay.
and she does a fantastic job of introducing them.
Yeah.
She talks about their history, their impact on Israeli culture, why their music, like, speaks to her personally.
Interesting.
She even includes lyrics from some of their songs, like Blue Dream,
Mm-hmm.
There Is No End to Childhood,
Yeah,
America.
it's such a curated playlist.
Right. Like she's saying, here, listen to this, feel this, let's experience this together.
And it all ties back to her goal of building bridges,
Absolutely. Fostering understanding, celebrating diversity.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about Israel.
No, it's about the shared human experience.
Yeah.
Those universal themes that connect us all.
And she finds those connections in the most, unexpected places.
I know. From Monty Python to 30 Seconds to Mars.
To ancient history and modern music.
It's that constant interplay of ideas.
That willingness to see the world through different lenses.
Yeah, that's what makes the Liat show so captivating.
It reminds you that learning can be, fun.
And exciting.
That exploring can be exhilarating.
And that connecting with others can be really enriching.
Speaking of connecting, we should talk more about how she uses music to do that.
Oh, for sure.
It's not just background noise in her work.
No, it's central.
She actually describes music as, a reflection of a nation's soul.
I love that.
A window into its, hopes, dreams, struggles.
It's so true.
Music has this amazing ability to transcend language and culture.
It's the universal language.
It speaks to our shared humanity.
Evokes emotions that, like words just can't capture.
And Liat understands this.
Yeah.
She uses music to create this sense of intimacy with her listeners.
Yeah.
Inviting them to share her passion, her journey.
She talks about how she often, like, starts conversations about Israel by talking about music.
Oh, interesting.
It's a way to, break down barriers, find common ground.
Smart.
It shows a deep understanding of, like, human psychology.
Yeah, music can disarm us, open us up.
And when we're open, we're more receptive to, new ideas.
Exactly. New perspectives.
New ways of seeing things.
And that's what makes the Liat Show so special, I think. It's not about just taking in information.
It's about dialogue.
It's about expanding our understanding.
Of ourselves and the world.
And she does it all with such warmth and humor.
I know, and genuine enthusiasm.
You can't help but get swept up in it.
It's like she's saying, come on, let's go on this adventure together.
And explore these amazing worlds.
Who could say no to that?
Especially when it's filled with, such unexpected delights.
And thought-provoking insights.
So as we, dig deeper into her exploration of Israeli music,
Yeah.
it's important to see how this passion for music informs her whole approach to storytelling.
Because it's not just a side note.
It's like a key.
It unlocks a deeper understanding of her work.
Through music, we can appreciate the power of the Liat Show.
Because when we connect with a story emotionally,
When it resonates with us,
that's when it becomes truly transformative.
It's not about just absorbing facts.
It's about feeling something
Being moved.
by a story, a song, a shared experience.
And Liat's a master at creating those moments
She uses music as a bridge,
between herself and her audience.
inviting them along on this journey of discovery.
The Liat Show is more than just a podcast.
It's a conversation,
An exploration.
an invitation to see the world differently.
An invitation worth accepting.
As we wrap up our deep dive into the Liat Show, it feels like we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah, so many layers to unpack.
Right, like we've opened this treasure chest and it's overflowing with, like, these fascinating stories and these unexpected connections.
And thought-provoking insights, too.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the cool thing about a project like this, right? It's always evolving, always revealing something new.
It's like that journey Liat talks about.
Yeah.
Across timelines and cultures, different disciplines.
And she invites everyone to come along.
Offering all these different ways to engage.
You can dip your toes in, just explore a specific thing.
Or really go all in.
It's about finding, what clicks for you.
What sparks your curiosity.
What expands your understanding of the world.
And I think that's really the heart of the Liat Show.
Yeah.
Creating a space for connection, for new ideas, for a sense of wonder.
Because when we open ourselves up to those new experiences,
When we embrace the unknown.
that's when the magic happens.
And that's what Liat captures so well. That spark of discovery, that sense of awe, that feeling of being connected to something bigger.
And she does it all with such grace and humor.
And intelligence, too.
It's like she's saying, hey, come on, the world's amazing. It's full of these incredible stories. Let's explore it together.
Who could say no to that?
Hard to resist.
As we wrap up, I keep thinking back to that scene from Life of Brian.
The People's Front of Judea.
Yeah. So focused on complaining that they totally miss out on all the good stuff.
It's easy to do that sometimes.
I know, right?
But it highlights Liat's message.
About being a George Harrison.
Supporting creators and ideas that inspire us.
And it doesn't have to be this huge thing.
Even small acts of support can make a difference.
Help a creator thrive, an idea take off, a community grow.
So go out there, find those projects, those stories, those voices that speak to you.
And be their George Harrison.
Because when we support creativity, we support the future.
And that's definitely something worth believing in.
Absolutely.
This has been The Deep Dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.